Before I knew about boundaries or, setting them, maintaining them, my life was literally just the receiving end of a push pull, Chris that way, Chris that way, Chris that, and just literally everything regarding me outside of itself. It's very interesting. Boundaries, they're completely crucial, they're completely necessary in a person's life. When you don't have them, people are going to insert themselves in your life in a role that's not going to feel right. A lot of this has to do with control, right? Maybe someone wants to control the way that you live your life. Maybe they want to control the person that you spend the rest of your life with. And when I say control the person that you spend the rest of your life with, I mean on two accounts. The person that you marry, and also like they choose the person that you marry, and then they also choose what that person does. Control is just such an interesting thing here. And if you don't set and maintain boundaries, there's going to be a lot of control in your life. Control that when you experience it, when you receive it, it's not going to feel right because it's not, right? And without boundaries, you won't have the clear no. And if you don't have that clear no, then people are going to do to you what they want to. Here's the way this works: a lot of people take on a role in other people's lives that's not their place, it is boundary violating, and it suffocates the fuck out of an individual. People need autonomy. They need to be able to have their own sense of self agency. They need to be able to make choices for themselves so that they can fucking trust themselves. And a lot of people, a lot of dysfunctional families, they create experiences and then form patterns which lock individuals inside of very unhealthy ways of living, right? Whether it's boundarylessness, of course, which is also enmeshment, all of that stuff. If you don't have boundaries, you're going to experience people in a very specific way. And it's not going to feel right because it's not right. Because self agency is important. If you rely on everyone else for your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, oh, what do I do? You're just going to be an extension of them, or they're going to be a fucking extension of you. And I'm not necessarily referring to narcissistic traits here. I'm just referring to, you know, the opposite of individuation, having your own self. That's what I'm referring to here. A lot of people do not have their own selves because they don't know that they're allowed to. Because they've been brought up in family systems that are exceedingly dysfunctional, where they are actually extensions of their fucking parents. Right? And then there's a bunch of guilt tripping, shaming, and all that stuff, you know. And it's just fucking crazy how this stuff works. So, yeah, before learning about boundaries, I thought that the way that I was raised and everything was normal. Chaos, there was enmeshment, um, just everything, right? And when you experience life that way growing up, you don't get to form your own self. You don't get to form your own individual understanding and experience of life. You don't get to have your own wants, your own needs, your own thoughts, your own opinions. Your choices come from other people. Hey, I want to make this. Oh, wait a second. I need to consult those people. Fuck. And that's life. Under dysfunctionality. Not under anything that's healthy, because that's not healthy. But for me, the interesting thing is setting the boundaries and watching the people that do not have boundaries react to those boundaries. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Um, and I think that the other aspect of this, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about here. Coming out of unhealthy and moving into healthy. It's very interesting how used to unhealthy we are, that healthy is actually kind of boring. But then when you start to get used to healthy, you look at unhealthy and you're like, holy fucking shit. And you're just like, oh my god, right? Having boundaries is healthy. Boundarylessness is not healthy. Spreading yourself so thin, being pulled in this direction and that direction, forward and backward, push, pull, all that kind of shit. No, that's not fucking healthy. You want to be real fucking distracted from your life? Don't have boundaries. Let people have whatever the fucking place they want to have in your life. That's how to be real fucking distracted from your life. You have your own life to live. You're not responsible for anybody else, and that's just the way that it works. You are responsible for how you treat people. That's a different story. But boundaries. Yeah. Boundaries. That's how it works.